Hello everyone. I hope you're doing all good today. Before we will start our discussion, let me first introduce myself and also with my other group mates. So by the way, I am Christine T. Lopena and my group mates are Miss Daimi Arao, Miss Donna Kyla Abales, Miss Angel Joyce Ligpusan, and Miss Marianne Ginantao. So we will be going to discuss to you the interpreting literature through creative writing. So I will first explain to you the introduction that will be followed, discussed further by my other group mates. So by learning this topic, our targets are, at the end of this lesson, we are expected to discuss the role of creative writing in developing literary skills among children. Apply various creative writing strategies in the classroom setting, including literary response journals, free writing, and personal narrative writing. And lastly, we can share one's personal story with others as a way of publishing one's work. So what are we going to discuss? First is the introduction. So I am going to introduce to you what is creative writing and how does creative writing affect the learners on learning the literature. In line with the creative writing are the strategies. So in this topic, it has 4 strategies for enable for the students to effectively learn in the creative writing. Since I have some group members, they will discuss further the strategies. Okay. So let's proceed on the introduction about the creative writing. So according to Ursula K. Le Guin, creative writing is someone who cares about words mean, what they say and how they say it. So, in choosing their words, they must also have a significant meaning because it can affect the literary piece and the audience that are going to meet the literature. And about what you say, you must be sensitive on the words that you're going to say or write. Second is truth and freedom. So, you must choose the truth, and the authors or someone that writes must also have the freedom. But you must know the limits of the freedom. You must be sensitive. Another one, according to him, storytellers and poets strengthen their souls by using words. Why? Because they are showing their emotions, their feelings, or their imaginations on the literary text that they have written, and they also spend most of their lives learning the skills and art of using words, so a teller and a poet. In writing for poetry, you must choose wisely on words that you're going to say because it might affect the learners or the audience. For example, when you write a story about young learners, you must also use the words that are appropriate for the young learners. In creative writing, it unlocks a child's imagination because they're able to develop their higher level of literary skills. They are going to explore the things that they have been explored. They are going to imagine things, for example, in reading the Cinderella or watching the movie Encanto, are some fairy tales that are suitable for young learners. They also might think on what has happened to Cinderella. Why does her stepsisters bully her? So, the students or the learners can also show their thoughts by writing their own story or poetry about their literary that they have read. They also inspire to have love for words by sharing their personal narrative. So they can also write a story wherein they put themselves as the main character. They can also write a story that could be seen on other people. They can use a different genre that also young learners can understand. To continue this topic, I will now give the virtual floor one of my members, Miss Daimi Arao.
Incorporating creative writing in the classroom helps students experience and develop a different way of communicating that is reflective of their writing styles. If this happens, students form a special connection with the practice of writing, which provides the motivation to develop higher level literacy skills. This is why it is beneficial for teachers to learn about creative writing as a strategy for including more writing and reading in the classroom. Perhaps the fair thing to ask when Unite Creative Setting Strategy motivates the world children wants to write in up a pencil and write thoughts per essential, because the first place knowing what child's motivation connection triggers the learning process. The answer to the question has something to do with the teacher's ability to select therapy pieces, whether it be a story, poetry, or other that the literacy selection. Tapping into their imagination will be relatively easy. They personally identify which one of these. Once students are able to make a personal connection, also be inspired to start writing their own thoughts down. Simplify because they can relate with the literacy work, whether through the theme, the flat, or the characters. This provides the opportunity to develop higher level literacy skills.
It should remember that writing is much more than technical skill. It is a fundamental expression of the writer's mind. So by this, it means that writers could give her thoughts, or she can express her feelings through writing and communicating with other people, also through writing. So teaching children literacy skill is not just about students knowing how to read and write, but it is more importantly to learn how to think. Yes, it is not just about how to read and write, but more importantly, learning how to think, because by thinking, you can have your ideas, opinions, analyze information. You can do so much more by having the thinking skills. So, one of the effective strategies is the use of literary response journal, a way for children to write their thoughts about texts that include their personal questions, prediction, feelings, and observation about the text they are reading. So it is very understandable that students can use a journal to record any questions that arise as they read, as well as make prediction about what happens in the next. It can promote student critical thinking. So there are significant questions the teacher might can ask student. So what are the quotes they take note of? Which character and plot points do they most relate to? Or what are they saying about the theme and the message in their own life experiences? Are the so these are the significant questions the teacher might ask to student. So by having these different questions, students enable them to become more active and focused. For example, in the given story, they can connect with the story. They can focus to listen, to comprehend what the story is all about. They can develop and promote critical thinking.
Another strategy that developed literacy is free writing. Writing strategy developed by Peter Elbow in 1973. Free writing is a process of writing without stopping, editing, sharing, and worrying about grammar. It is a part of the free writing process that can take around 10 to 15 minutes, and it's focused on generating ideas. This can be done daily or at least 3 times a week. Free writing is also called automatic writing, that brings together the process of producing words and putting them down on a page. If this is a practice regularly, it will make a writing less blocked because words will come easily. Cressida Cowell, award-winning children's author and illustrator for children's book series How to Train Your Dragon and the Wizard of Wands, passionately advocates creating a space of creative flow. Among primary school, among children through the Creative Classroom revolution called Free Writing Friday campaign that aims to inspire more children write for pleasure.
Another strategy that effective in developing literacy skills is narrative writing. This type of writing is characterized by a fictional story that has the main character in a specific setting who encounters a problem or event. In early elementary school, teachers can already begin teaching about narrative by reading about fiction and nonfiction stories. Primary school's children cost to be allowed write what they want to write about without that fear of getting red marks or corrections on their work with regarding to their spelling, grammar, or functional. Free writing can be done in classroom by giving writing prompts to the class and have them write anything about it during that time.